Today, we're doing a hands-on test of the Dutch Mola Tambaqui DAC. Since its release, this DAC has consistently received praise from users and reviewers. Even the most critical reviewers have commended it. With such a great reputation, of course, it's not just because of its looks or features, but because it truly delivers an ultra-high signal-to-noise ratio of 130 dB, which is close to the theoretical limit of 24-bit audio. So what exactly can you get for just under HK $100,000 with this unit? This DAC isn't particularly heavy when you pick it up. What secret techniques does it have to stand out in such a short time? No matter how impressive it is the sound it produces actually suitable for your taste? Let me explain it to you right away and play some recordings for you to hear.
Hello everyone, I'm Ken.
Welcome to feversoundcom. The product we're testing with you today is the flagship DAC from Dutch brand Mola, the Tambaqui. Before we officially begin, just a quick reminder for everyone. If you're interested in all kinds of audio and video equipment reviews, audio-visual tutorials, and the latest market news, be sure to subscribe to our feversound.com YouTube channel for free. Don't forget to hit the little bell next to it so you won't miss any of our new videos. We've unboxed it, and there's a Tellurium Q silver power cable. It feels like some kind of mysterious gear. Open it up, here's the manual, and then here's the device itself. Let's take it out. The design is quite unique too. It also comes with a pair of Neutrik XLR to RCA adapters. That's because the analog output of the device only has XLR connectors, so these let you convert them. I actually have these adapters myself. No need to remove the original ones. Super simple, that's the unboxing done. The unit is so small. Let's check out the back panel. Let's start from the right side. IEC power socket. I assume it's 90 to 270 V, truly a universal voltage. Then you have various digital inputs, USB, optical, AES, EBU, S, PDIF and Ethernet port, as well as an HDMI connector for I2S. Moving to the top row, there's a balanced stereo analog output and two sets of headphone outputs, including a balanced 4-pin XLR and a single-ended 6.35mm TRS output. Handmade in the Netherlands. Let's also take a look at the bottom of the unit. It's quite unique. This spot at the front is for receiving remote control signals. The bottom doesn't use traditional feet, but it's more like a glider with two straight bars supporting the whole unit. Okay, the volume adjustment is displayed like this. This is for adjusting the volume. It only shows negative values. This is the mute button. This is for selecting the input source. There are 4 preset options for you to choose from, but if you turn off the volume control, once it's turned off, these 4 buttons become direct access buttons for the 4 presets. It will display not the volume, but the word direct instead. This device doesn't have a power button. Everything is controlled via the app. Now let's wait for the fish to appear. In 2011, Mola from the Netherlands was founded by 2 audio engineers,
Jan-Pieter van Amerongen and Bruno Putzes.
Create together. Mola is actually a sunfish. All of their models are named after fish. For example, we decode Tambaqui. It is a tropical fish called giant carp. Who are these 2 engineers?
Jan-Pieter van Amerongen.
The best sound in the world, Hypex, one of the Class D modules. So in fact, Mola's parent company is Hypex. As for Bruno Putzes, he once worked at Philips as the chief engineer for Class D amplifiers. He was also the head of R&D at both Grim Audio and Hypex at the same time. Later, he founded Key Audio, Purify Audio, and now Mola. Back to our main subject today. The Tambaqui DAC, it features a half-width chassis design. The chassis is also made from high-quality aerospace-grade aluminum. Let's talk about the technology while looking inside the unit. The power supply is a low-noise switching power supply, custom designed by the manufacturer. It's further shielded with a metal cover to reduce interference. This device mainly uses 2 separate circuit boards to handle signals. One is dedicated to digital processing and the other focuses on analog. The first board takes all incoming digital signals, upsamples them to 32-bit 3.125 MHz first, using its internal 100 MHz SC cut laboratory-grade crystal oscillator, which makes the upsampling even more precise. It then performs up to 7th order noise shaping and converts the signal into PWM pulse width modulation format. The second board is equipped with 2 sets of mono decoding using discrete 32-level FIRDACs and a single-stage 4th order filter I V converter to convert the PWM signal into analog output. This approach eliminates the noise found in delta sigma decoding and also avoids the linear distortion issues commonly seen in R2R designs. Let's take a look at the specifications. You definitely have to check them out. The signal-to-noise ratio reaches as high as 130 dB, which is already approaching the theoretical limit of 24-bit audio. Currently, even the most high-end decoding chips on the market can at most achieve about 22 bits of dynamic range and 20 bits of linearity. So the specs of this decoder are really quite impressive. Jitter above 10 Hz is less than 1 picosecond. Above 1 kHz, it's less than 300 femtoseconds. The dimensions are as shown in the picture, and the weight is 5.2 kilograms. With Mola equipment, there is a physical remote control available. However, you have to pay extra to buy it. If you don't want to pay, you have to use an app for remote control. Mola Remote. The power button in the top left corner, nothing special about it. The buttons below are all for switching the headphone amp output on and off. Let's see what settings are in the top right corner. The important part is here, output level. There are 3 sets of analog output gains. You can choose among them, 0.6V. This one is rarely chosen because it's too low, 2V. This is the Redbook Audio CD, RCA standard output. The other one is 6V. If you want to connect to a power amplifier or active speakers, then you need to set it to 6V, and then turn the volume down. If you're just using it as a pure DAC, to be honest, unless your system's gain is really insufficient, otherwise, the 2V output sounds a bit more delicate, more natural, and more relaxed. So I choose 2V. Next, let's look at the 4 preset options. You'll see it has 7 types of inputs, but only 4 groups of options. So in the end, you have to choose 4 out of 7 to use. Let's take a look at Roon. Right now, the IP address of this device is 192.168.1.75. On any browser within the local network, you can enter this IP address to perform basic network settings for this device. It supports up to 32-bit 384 kHz. DSD can also go up to DSD 256. These are very mainstream specs. The hardware volume of this device will also sync accordingly.
Again, it's been on for over an hour. The room temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, same below. The device itself is around 40 degrees. At 40 degrees, it feels hot to the touch. But it's not scalding, just warm. The amplifier is only 38 degrees, right? The amplifier has also been on for the whole hour. Just listen to it together. But it is possible, it is stable, and it won't get too hot.
Roon Core. It is Rockner's Wavelight server. Then go directly to Tambaqui in Mola. Then analog out. Directly connected to Boulder's combiner. 866 integrated. Now Mola is purely for decoding. The speaker connected directly is Magical A3.
Okay to use this bus for transport on a holiday, there with it.
Which what?
That's my own following you.
Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be.
Crystal clear and delicate. The lingering resonance of the sound extends beautifully. Along with the presentation of the soundstage is very three-dimensional, not 2D but 3D. It has depth and height, and is still wide and spacious. Vocals and mid-range, of course, are full of emotion. At the same time, the overall amount of mid-bass is noticeably more substantial than I initially expected. This particular deck also consistently delivers a truly high-end sound quality. It offers noble, airy, and remarkably realistic sound effects. And I'm evaluating it based on its price point. That is to say, this equipment currently sells for about 100,000 HKD on the market. It's not cheap, it's definitely a high-end product. However, compared to some even more expensive ones, perhaps those DACs priced close to 200,000 HKD and so on, it doesn't quite surpass them in every aspect. But it can at least hold its own. I think that's something very hard to achieve. If I were a diehard R2R fan, a soundstage to pierce walls, with imaging tangible you could touch it, and I wanted really sharp imaging, this device can deliver that. If I truly want a beautiful rich timbre, something like Delta Sigma, just for listening to light music, it can do that too. No wonder in the past few years, you clearly see that many of the reviews are full of high praise for it. It's been praised for a long time, but what are its shortcomings? Because there's no such thing as a perfect product in this world, and this one is no exception. And I always make a point to mention a product's shortcomings. It only has balanced stereo output. It doesn't have single-ended stereo output. Of course, you can just add an adapter. But still, I've already paid this much for the device, so why not just give me an RCA output? I've also tried its headphone amp, and its headphone amp is also very powerful. It can even drive some planar magnetic headphones, and the sound is just as natural. But why is the headphone output placed at the back of the unit? Most headphone amps you see have their connections at the front of the unit. Putting it back is just inconvenient. The third shortcoming is, I understand the manufacturer's design. There's a reason why the display always turns off. It's for better sound quality. But there are some decks on the market that have gorgeous cover displays. But this little round window here only shows the most basic information, and only for a short while. But honestly, ever since I moved my equipment to the UK, the Hong Kong listening room actually needed to be refitted with equipment. I chose the speakers, I chose the amplifier, and I even picked the room call, but I still haven't found a deck that I'm really satisfied with. Because I don't want to buy something too expensive, but I also don't want to buy something that's too low quality. Is there anything with a price similar to the one I'm currently using, around the same price range as my amplifier and speakers, and that can truly deliver a high level of performance while also being convenient for testing equipment with different gain and volume controls? There are a few options in my mind, and this Mola Tambaqui deck is definitely, in my mind, one of the top 3 products I think are worth buying as a reference unit. If you're also looking to hear a truly comprehensive sound and your ideal price range is around this level of equipment and you're open to new brands and you accept that a lightweight machine can also sound great, then you really shouldn't overlook this Mola Tambaqui deck. That wraps up the hands-on review. For those who are interested, be sure to check the description box of this video to see the selling price and the latest price, as well as where you can audition it. That concludes the review. If you enjoy our videos, please give us a like. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, be sure to subscribe. After subscribing, remember to click the little bell next to the channel so you'll get notified as soon as we release new videos. Besides this deck, we've recently tested a lot of other equipment as well. Is this one the right fit for you? If it is, be sure to check it out. That's all for this session. See you next time. Bye-bye.